Have you ever wanted to master a complex new skill in half the time? Whether you are studying for a high-stakes exam, preparing for a professional presentation, or simply trying to understand a new subject, the ability to learn quickly is a superpower. Most people try to learn by reading books, watching videos, or listening to lectures, but often, that information fails to stick. Today, we are going to walk through a proven, four-step strategy for deep learning. This technique was developed by Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, famous for his ability to translate the most complex topics, like quantum electrodynamics, into language that almost anyone could understand. The first step is to pick a topic and commit to deep focus. When you start, you must get as much quality information into your brain as possible. For this, the most effective method is the Pomodoro Technique, 25 minutes of intense, distraction-free focus, followed by a 5-minute break. During those 25 minutes, you must dedicate yourself to one specific task. No phones, no emails, and absolutely no multitasking. However, the true secret lies in the 5-minute break. Most people make the mistake of using this time to scroll through social media or send text messages, but that is counterproductive. To understand why, we have to look at neuroplasticity, the process by which your brain changes and physically stores new information. During your focus study period, your brain marks the neural pathways that need to be changed or strengthened, but the actual change does not happen while you are frantically gathering data. It happens during the downtime. When you take a proper break, your brain replays the information you just learned at an accelerated speed, effectively saving it into your long-term memory. If you spend that 5-minute break distracted, you disrupt this process. Instead, use those 5 minutes to walk, breathe, or simply sit in silence. You are allowing your brain to do the heavy lifting of storage. The second step is the most critical. Write it down and explain it out loud. Once you have completed your focused bouts of study, you need to synthesize that information. If there is no one around to listen, speak to an imaginary audience. The act of teaching is significantly more efficient than passive learning, such as reading or watching a video. When you teach, you force your brain to move from receiving information to creating and organizing it. This process creates entirely new neural pathways. You might feel a sense of frustration or agitation during this stage, but do not stop. That feeling is actually a sign of success. It indicates the release of a chemical called acetylcholine at the specific neurons that need to change. When you feel stuck, your brain is actually on the verge of rewiring itself. Embrace that mental friction. It means the learning is happening. The third step is to identify the gaps in your knowledge. As you attempt to teach the material, you will inevitably hit a wall. You will reach a point where you realize, I thought I knew this, but I can't quite explain it. This is a gift. It reveals exactly where your understanding is shallow. When you get stuck, do not move forward. Go back to your source material, your notes, the textbook, or the video, and study that specific section again. By isolating the parts you do not understand, you move from general knowledge to mastery. You are not just skimming the surface, you are strengthening the foundation of your understanding. Finally, the fourth step is to simplify until you can teach it to a child. This is the ultimate test of mastery. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." When you try to explain a complex topic, it is easy to hide behind jargon and overly complicated language. Challenge yourself to strip that away. If you were teaching this to a 10-year-old, how would you describe it? A child will not let you hide behind big words. They will keep asking why, until the logic is clear. If you find yourself unable to answer those why questions, you have found another gap in your knowledge. Go back, study that point, and simplify your explanation further. Repeat this cycle until you can describe the entire concept in plain, simple language. Once you can do that, you no longer have to rely on rote memorization. You have internalized the logic of the subject. You will find that you are no longer just studying information. You are owning it. By following this cycle, focused input, active teaching, gap analysis, and radical simplification, you transform the way you learn. It requires patience and the willingness to face frustration, but the result is a level of understanding that is both deep and lasting. Stop trying to cram information into your brain through passive means and start building your knowledge through active mastery. You will be surprised by how much faster you can become an expert in anything you set your mind to. Have a nice day.